Hello, welcome to the live stream. How y'all doing? How's everybody today? Can you give me a thumbs up, let me know, or actually just respond in the chat? Can you hear me? Is the audio okay? That's the one thing I can almost guarantee that I'll get wrong every week, but it looks like everything is working. Steve from the UK says yes, fine. Awesome. Thank you, Steve, and welcome from rainy Britain. That's too bad. It was kind of, I think we're getting the rain shortly. It's beautiful here now. It's 20 degrees Celsius. It's the nicest day yet this season for us here in Canada, in East Coast Canada. Welcome back to the live stream, and thanks everybody else for joining. Let me just get right into the chat and see who we've got here. Anybody who's new here, welcome aboard to the live stream. I do this every week on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and I go through Camtasia tutorials, latest news, and you get to see me edit in Camtasia, and I also answer any questions you have as we go through it. And what I also do is I post YouTube videos, which is probably how you found me, 3 times a week. I've been doing 3 times a week now for close to 2 months, I think. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. So let me get right into the chat and see who we've got. Say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm always interested to know where you're located. Jules says, hello, Rob. I'll be watching you from Quebec. Quebec, have a nice live. Thank you, Jules, and welcome back. Recognize your name. You've been here before, so that's great. Fellow Canadian. So Quebec is not that far from Nova Scotia, which is where I am. Probably about a 5 or 6 hour drive, I think. Or an hour and a half flight. Who else we got here? Jules waves hello. Steve is in rainy Britain. Hopefully the weather turns around for you soon. Skunk Eye Music, loud and clear. Awesome. Welcome, Skunk Eye Music. That's a new name. I don't think I recognize you, so welcome to the live stream. Glad to have you here. Pamela Powers, a longtime viewer. Welcome, Pam. Thanks for coming back. And good to have you here again. Uterp Lab, hi. Here in Italy is 1900, so 7 p.m. Evening time in Italy. Very good. Hope you had a nice day, and thanks for stopping in. Good to see you again. Digital Learn Academy. Sorry I am late. Ontario, CA. See, when I see CA, I think Canada, but I know you mean CA as in California. There is an Ontario is the largest province. Well, is Ontario or Quebec? I don't know. They're the 2 largest provinces in Canada. But Ontario is a town or city in California as well. So welcome back. Thanks for stopping in. We have Greg Childers. Hi, Rob. Great hologram video. Love your work. Thank you, Greg. Glad you liked that. So Greg's referring to the video I posted yesterday and that I spent most of the weekend on. Actually, for those of you who don't like to watch long videos, I'm one of them. If I'm trying to learn how to do something and I need to go to YouTube to learn something, to figure something out, I'll search for something. If I see that a video if it's a simple task and the video's any longer than say about 10 minutes, I usually look for something shorter. So the video I posted yesterday it ended up being, I think, 54 minutes long. So I apologize for that. Unless you like long videos, then great. It actually helps in my watch time stats for those of you if you watch a lot of it. But I just couldn't get it any smaller than shorter than that. So when I recorded that, it was actually an hour and 40 minutes of recording time. And since I recorded myself, in fact, I got to stop recording myself, since in most of my videos, I put myself, I shrink myself down and put myself in the bottom corner. I don't need to be filming myself at 4K when I'm doing that. But I have been filming myself in 4K because of the beginning and the ending, like the intro and the outro of my videos. I want it to look as good as possible. Plus, I'm trying to kind of stress test Camtasia. Years ago, I used to have troubles working with large files and 4K files, but so I've been working with 4K files, and again, that video was almost an hour long, 4K rendered, and it worked just fine. Sorry, I'm getting messages on my watch here. It worked just fine in Camtasia. I mean, a couple workarounds, and we can talk about that, but yeah, so apologies for the long video, but I think it's pretty cool. I got it down to under an hour. Hopefully you don't mind too much the cuts that I have throughout. I tried to maintain the story while making it as short as I could. But there's a lot that I go through in it. So I guess time will tell if you prefer those types of videos over the quick how to do one specific thing and we're done in 5-minute type of videos. So kind of experimenting with long ones. The one I'm working on for tomorrow, I think, is going to be over 25 minutes, but not 30 minutes. So somewhere in there. On the long side for mine, but not as long as yesterday's. Digital Learn Academy says, please hit the like button and sharing is caring. Thank you very much. You, once again, you're one of my biggest fans. I love it. Thank you very much. Yes, when you hit the like button on a video, that does tell YouTube, oh, people like this. Maybe we'll recommend it more to other people. That's kind of how that works. So yeah, if you do like it, like it. Thank you very much. Skunk Eye Music, hi from London, England. Hello, welcome, London, England. That's great. So we have 2 from Britain then, I believe, in the live chat, at least 2. UTERP Lab, yesterday, YouTube deleted a video from my channel. It was a video that talked about a download management software. Too bad, I was very disappointed at first glance, but then you learn better, and there's a part 2 here, by making mistakes, they say here in Italy. Yeah, you certainly do learn by making mistakes, 100%. Not sure why they would have taken it down, but maybe, yeah, I don't know. I haven't experienced that. I've not had YouTube remove any of my videos yet. So I guess that's a good thing. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. I will say that the video that I posted yesterday, now I'm not sure if you're aware, but my channel is not yet monetized. To get, and when it does get monetized, which actually should happen this week, but when it does get monetized, it's not like I'm going to be able to retire. Like, I think I might make $50 a month or something like that from AdSense revenue. It's not a lot. So a lot of people are very concerned and really wanting to know, oh, how do I get monetized? What's the fastest way to get monetized? It's really not. It's not all that what you hear. Like, it's not. I mean, if you have 1 million subscribers and you get monetized and you're getting millions and millions of views a month, then sure, that's going to be a lot of money that you get from being monetized. But with the size of my channel right now, sorry, come on, cat, get out of here. It's not a huge deal. But anyways, what was I saying? I went off on a tangent there. Yes. So my channel. Wait, no. What was I saying? About getting subscribers. Oh, the video I posted yesterday, the long one, I got a notification from YouTube saying that the music that I had in the video, and specifically the music that I used in the trailer, so that if you didn't watch it, that video, I went through the process of creating a fictitious or fake movie trailer and to demonstrate how to make a hologram, how to do cloning and all that kind of thing. So I had some music in that video. And I got a not a strike, but a copyright notice saying I can't use that. Which is incorrect because I subscribe to Motion Array and Epidemic Sound, actually. I subscribe to 2 different places where I can get royalty-free music. This particular one came from Motion Array, and as a subscriber, you're allowed to use any music you download from there in all of my videos that I make, as well as videos I make for clients, right? So I guess that happens periodically. That could happen, and when it does, there are things you can do. So I basically have to submit hey, you guys made a mistake, release the copyright notice or whatever. So It doesn't mean that my video is any less visible. You guys can still see the video. It just means that had I been monetized, if my channel was monetized and that video was making money for YouTube by showing ads, then any money made from that video, if there's a copyright strike on it, goes to the copyright owner and not to me, the video channel owner, if that makes sense. So not a huge deal. It's not a big deal at all since I'm not monetized, but nevertheless, I want to get that cleared up because I should be monetized soon. So anyways, that was kind of a side story. Yeah, so that's really the only issue I've had with, things being, so I've never had a video taken down by YouTube. I'm sorry that happened to you, but like you say, live and learn. I guess you can learn from those sorts of things. Sybil Morgan, welcome Sybil. Thank you for stopping in. Says, hi Rob, thanks for all the great videos you've made. Really helpful. I am wondering if you know about the audio effects in Camtasia. I had recordings where the audio had interference and used noise. Okay, you've got a second part here. And used noise removal too. I would like to know more about that and audio compression if you know about that. Okay, great. Now a couple things. Yes, there are some things you can do in Camtasia, but not many. I don't use any of the audio effects in Camtasia itself other than volume, right? So I'll put in audio points and I'll move volume up and down and things like that. Excuse me. But besides that, I don't even use the compression. I believe there is a compression thing you can do. Because over the years, I've gotten used to using Adobe Audition, which is another audio editing software that's not free. You have to pay for Creative Cloud or Adobe. I think it's around $25 or $30 a month. But I've gotten so used to that. So anytime I record my voice or any audio that I have to do something with, I put it into Adobe Audition and I do it there. And they have compression and noise gates and equalizers and all kinds of things, way more than I even know about. So I process my voice there, export it, and then bring it into Camtasia. That's what I do. Having said that, I do want to cover in a future video the things that you can do within Camtasia. I'll probably wait until Camtasia 2024 comes out, which is in a few weeks. I think it's June 4th. It is. Well, I know. I don't think. I know. It's June 4th. So once that comes out, who knows? There may be more things added to it. But as of right now, you have a couple of small tools in Camtasia itself. But then there's also TechSmith also has a program called Audiate. That allows you to do even more on the audio side. I haven't gotten into Audiate yet, so I can't really talk intelligently about it. I just know that you can use it to edit. You can use it to edit a video. You can edit a video by chopping out text, right? By editing text, you're editing the video, and then you can send it back to Camtasia. So I know you can do that. I haven't done it myself. And in addition, I believe there are things like compression and noise removal and things like that you can do in Audiate. So yeah, I've got that down as something to, in fact, let me just make another note. So audio in Camtasia, that'll remind me to make sure that that's on the list for a future video. So yeah, that's where we are with that. And Jules says, question, when do you use LUT and when do you use filters? Very funny you should ask, because the video that's coming out tomorrow, I get into both of those things. So I haven't really used LUTs in the past, except for yesterday and today, and you'll see it tomorrow. And I'll show you a bit of the video that I'm working on right now. I've already shot it and I've edited about 80% of it. And I go and I add a LUT and I show you how to change them and all that. A LUT, for those of you who don't know, it's a way to kind of colorize or like put a color theme on your video. LUT stands for lookup table. and it's complicated. It's color science, and I don't know much beyond that. All I do know is it's basically a filter. Camtasia calls them filters, and you can slap a filter on your video, and it completely changes the look of it. So that's what they are, and you'll be able to see how to add them and how I added them tomorrow. So LUT and filter, those two words are kind of used interchangeably in Camtasia. And just so you know, the video, actually, let me pop up. I haven't shown you this. Today's topics. I should have that on at the beginning. So anyway, so do I have it even written down there? No, it's not. It's not listed there, but it's listed here as to what's coming up. Just so you know, the video that I did yesterday, the 1 hour long video, if you've watched it, you've seen that if you've watched till the end, and if you did, thank you very much. That's 54 minutes of your life gone. But anyways, it kind of ends abruptly. So I don't totally finish it the way it is when you see it in the beginning of the video. So the video is like, I kind of show off the movie trailer, the 1 minute movie trailer I made at the very beginning, and then the whole video is showing how to make it. But I didn't quite finish it to the point of what you see at the beginning. So, and the reason was my recording was up to like 1 hour and 40 minutes, and I was thinking, oh my God, this is going to take forever to edit. And I was actually an hour late posting it, an hour later than I usually am in posting it yesterday, because I was editing right up to the wire. And then I think it took YouTube 3 hours to process the 4K 1 hour long video. So, and it took me 40 minutes to upload it, I think. So tomorrow's video completes the making of that movie trailer by getting into LUTs and filters, right? Background music and sound effects, and some good practices as to how to add them, how to group them together, and some tips along those lines. So, and also to make the video more cinematic, I put blank bars on the top and the bottom. I animated them and things like that. So yeah, so we'll get into that tomorrow, but that should give you a bit of a preview. Digital Learn Academy says they take videos down that are torrent kind of videos, like videos that teach folks how to steal or break into software programs. Yeah, I can see that. I can see why they would want to do that. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So yeah, if your video is trying to teach people how to do something, I don't know if illegal is the right word, but something not so good, something on the shady side, then yeah, YouTube would probably take that down for sure. Yeah, incidentally, I've had my fair share of people in the comment, not very many, but the odd time I'll get a comment in one of my videos, and it just says, how do I get Camtasia for free? Well, you don't. It's not free software, nor should it be. It's awesome software. You can get some things for free, and you can get a free trial with Camtasia when you sign up, but if you want to keep it, and if you want to, export videos without watermarks and things like that, you need to pay for it. So I will never help somebody, well, nor do I know how to, but I'm not interested in knowing how to download free software that's not intended to be free, if that makes sense. So don't ask me, because I'm not going to tell you, and I'll probably just delete your comment if you ask me. Okay, Sybil Morgan says, I do have access to Adobe, so I can try that. I don't have Audiate. If I screen record with Camtasia, how can I send the audio to Audition? Great question. There's actually two ways. To answer your question directly, so I'll tell you what I do. I don't capture my audio in Camtasia at all. Okay, so what I do is, if I'm going to record myself, okay, let's say I'm going to record my screen and myself on the camera and my audio with my mic, okay? So my mic is hooked up to my computer. What I do is I'll open Camtasia, and Camtasia can take care of capturing the screen recording, okay? I don't even use Camtasia very much to capture my video or my audio. I'll use it to capture the screen, Most of the time, not always. Sometimes I'll use OBS if I'm recording Camtasia, for instance. So anyway, sorry, I digress. I will open Camtasia. I'll use it to capture the screen. So I'm gonna press record on 3 different things when I'm ready. So I'm ready to record. I'll press record in Camtasia. I'll go up and I'll press record on my camera because I have a SD card in the camera. It'll store video. And I press record. I open up Audition on my desktop on another monitor, not the monitor that I'm recording in Camtasia, but another monitor. I open up Audition and I start a new file and I press record on that. So now I have 3 things recording, right? Once you get all 3 things recording, what I typically do, the proper thing to do is you can clap, right? Just clap like that, and then that'll show a spike in the audio waveforms in Camtasia if you're also recording, the audio. Because Camtasia, you can grab the audio as well, even if it's being recorded in Audition. So you'll get the spike in Camtasia, you'll get the spike in Audition, and the camera. If your camera is also recording audio, you get the spike there. Now, not all cameras will record audio, like a webcam probably would not. So the idea is I will then put everything into well, actually, before I put the voiceover file, like when I'm done and I stop, all the 3 recordings, I will then go to the audio file. I'll open up Audition. Well, Audition's already open. I will go to the file and I will process the audio right there. It's been recorded and captured in Audition in real time. I do my edits to it. I make it sound way better. And then I save it as a WAV file, WAV. And then I import that into Camtasia. So now, and then I have to sync that up with my screen recording and the camera. So the camera has an SD card. I can either pop the SD card out of the camera, put it into the computer and copy the file over that way, then put it into Camtasia. Or what I do, I actually have, because of the camera I use, actually I can show you if I go to this view here. Okay, my camera, which is right here, see those 2 wires sticking out the side? So one of those is plugged in to this and plugged into my computer right now, and that's so that you can see me right now in the live. The other cord there is a USB connection that goes and plugs into my computer. And then I can just, when that's plugged in, I can just copy files. The camera is like a hard drive, and I can copy the file that I recorded over to the computer that way. Okay, so then I sync everything up in Camtasia and then go from there. And I've even created I have created a video on how to sync everything up in Camtasia like that. Again, you can match up the claps, or even if you don't clap, usually, once I get things recording, what I usually do is I'll just go test, and then I'll clear my throat. And then it becomes very obvious how to line up the audio waveforms when you get all 3 things in Camtasia at once. And then you just make sure everything is in sync, and then delete all of the audio except for the good one, if that makes sense. Okay, so sorry for the long-winded answer, but that's the process I go through. Now, if you did record directly into Camtasia, I believe there is a way. Let me just double check here. Can you not just export the audio only? I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure there's a way you can do that. Export the audio in Camtasia. I will double check that though. I've just never had to do that because I take care of the audio processing before I even bring it into Camtasia. Okay. So anyways, I hope that helps. But, oh, and I see Steve here says in the chat, yes, you can. Okay. I just don't know off the top of my head exactly where it is, and I don't want to waste your guys' time looking for it. Oh, Steve just said it's on the same menu as save frame as. Okay, so that's edit. Yeah, no, I'm not. It's not jumping right out at me. It. And again, I'm on a Mac as well, so sometimes the menus are slightly different between the Mac version and the Windows version. But there you go. So two different ways. I prefer not having to export it because then you export it, and then although if that's the only way you can capture it, then that's fine. So just remember, when you export the audio, it probably does not remove it from your own timeline, right? So then when you bring back the new audio, you'll just have to sync it up with the old audio, right? And then delete the old audio or silence the old audio if you want to keep it in the timeline, like in your project. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Digital Learn Academy says you get a free 30-day trial. What were we talking about? Was that Adobe Audition maybe, or even Camtasia? Not sure. I don't think Camtasia's trial is 30 days long, but I could be mistaken. But Adobe's, maybe that is the free that you get. Okay. Oh yes, I was talking about Camtasia. That's right. 30-day trial. That's the free that you get. That's right. Jules says, a question. Is there any way you can show us your sound recording workflow? Okay, yes, I can. I think I just went through a lot of it, but there's a couple things I didn't touch on. So yes, I'll switch cameras again. So sound recording workflow, the best way to show you is probably from my iPhone over here. So let me just bring this a little bit closer. So, okay, so first of all, there's my mic. Okay, there's my microphone, and if you follow that wire all the way down there under my desk, and then it comes out here and plugs into this audio interface. Okay, that then has USB-C in the back of it that plugs into like a dock I have back there that's then plugged into my MacBook right here. Okay, one is for the dock, the other one is for my monitor. Okay, so that is what it looks like. Then what I do, let me just put this here. What I do is open up Audition. I'll just show it to you. Double click here. Got a lot of windows going on here. Oh, we don't need that. So this is Audition. And actually, let me bring it down to this. This is the monitor that I can share with you guys. So let's do that. And no, I don't want to change preferences. So what I do is I will go Control-Shift-N, because I've gotten so used to the shortcuts. That will create a new audio file. And let me type in test. And I leave all these the same. They're always the same. 48,000 sample rate. Channel is mono. You don't ever need stereo when you're doing voiceover. Voiceover should be mono, and then it gets split evenly, or not split evenly. It gets like the same sound on both channels, left and right. Okay. Music and sound effects, they can all be in stereo, and that sounds great. But voiceover, mono is all you need. Excuse me, bit depth 24. So again, I haven't changed these in years, and I've used this program for years. So file name test, click OK. Here is a new file, a new file. So, and it's already, so even though I'm using this microphone for this live stream, right, it's still going through the computer. So this sound is getting into the computer. So Adobe Audition will recognize the sound as long as I have the hardware set up properly, audio hardware. Input Scarlett 2i2. That's the name of my Focusrite, the red audio interface here. And the output is also the same because I have my speakers plugged into the back of that. Okay, so yeah, so that should be fine. So if I hit the record button right here, I'm recording. And you can see that I'm recording right here. And if I get closer to the mic, the recording gets louder. Of course, you guys would have heard that louder too, and you can see it's louder here. So there you go. This is, I am now recording, and I can leave this, I can move this, you know, I can make this program window really small and just throw it over on another monitor. I have 4 monitors going here, but you can just kind of throw it up into the corner of one of your monitors. You can probably even minimize this. Just minimize that. Is that still recording? I've never even tried to do that. I've minimized it. Let's unminimize it. It's still recording. So you could do that to get it off your screen. And then when you're finished recording whatever you're doing, this has captured it. So let me just make this bigger again, just to show you. So I'll hit stop. Okay, so there's the file. And I can go back, I'll place the playhead anywhere. Spacebar will play it, just like in Camtasia. This has captured it. So let me just make this bigger again. Okay, so you can see that it worked. And I can zoom in and out like this. I'm recording right here. And if I get closer to the mic, the recording gets louder. Okay, and then you can edit it a bit. Generally, I will not cut anything out of this because I need all of this to match up with my video and to sync it up in Camtasia. But now, what you could do is, if you know you didn't start your actual recording for a while, you can trim off the beginning. So the way you do that is just kind of highlight this, press the delete key. That part is gone. Of course, you guys would have heard that. Okay, and then what I do is I go up to favorites here, and I've got a favorite called Rob Voice 2021. So it's been 3 years or 2.5 years ago that I created this. This is a preset. It's several things that that happen all. Well, actually, I'm going to press this right now, and you can see what it does. Boom. Okay, you can't really see that. It happened so fast. But now it's been processed. So now if we listen to it, I am now recording, and I can leave this. I can move this. I don't know if you can tell, but it is better now than it was. There's still some compression issues that didn't get sorted out here, and that might have something to do with I'm trying to do too much here all in one go. But yeah, so then I would just go Control-Shift-S, which is save as, test. I usually save it before I do the processing it, test.wave, and then I will save as, and I'll add an underscore processed to the name. And now it's a new file name, and I'll save it. Okay, and that saves that in my downloads folder, and I can then bring it in to Camtasia. Okay, so that is my entire workflow. When I'm doing when I'm making my tutorials, my YouTube videos, and for this live, I generally leave this microphone. I'll switch cameras again. I generally leave this microphone right where it is. Okay, up and out of frame. But if I'm going to do a voiceover, only voice, not my face, which is generally what I do for clients. If I'm doing small jobs for somebody, making tutorial videos for somebody through Fiverr, say, and it's a screen recording in Camtasia, and I use my voice, but I don't show my face, I'll bring the microphone right here, like really close, and I'll put this little pop filter on it. I'll put it really close. The pop filter helps stop the like the shots of air getting in there and clipping in your sound and whatnot. And I put that really close, and I talk a little bit lower. But the closer you can put your microphone to your voice, to your mouth, the better it will sound. You can turn your gain down. Then it doesn't have to be as loud. I've got my gain up higher than I would if I was doing a voice recording because, you know, this is, I'm going to say it's 18 inches away from my mouth, the microphone right now. So, but when I'm doing a voice recording, it's like 2 inches from my mouth, and that will get rid of there will be a lot less reverb, echo, and the voice will just sound deeper and better. Okay, so that's my process. That's what I do when I record sounds, audio, voiceover, voiceover and live. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Where are we now? Jason Lowe. Welcome, Jason. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for stopping into the live stream. Someone getting into video editing. Can you just use Camtasia for a complete solution versus having all the other programs? Yes and no. I mean, yes, Camtasia does. I'm just trying to think now. I guess it depends on what you want. If you're just getting into video editing, then yes, 100%. Camtasia is all you need. And in fact, and I'm going to make a video about this. Again, this might be after 2024 version comes out, like within the next few weeks. I need to make a video for beginner video editors, and basically to tell them Camtasia is something you need to look at. Because if you go searching on YouTube for, what video editing program should I learn and all this stuff, you're going to find a lot of stuff on Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve, all these larger and typically more expensive softwares that are really good, but really hard to learn. And there's enough to learn outside of the editing program without having to spend so much time on just the editing program, if that makes sense. Like, you have to think about lighting and audio capture and screen recordings and things like that. The reality is what I've learned, and I've gone through this, like I've spent a lot of time with DaVinci Resolve trying to learn that. And I can do some things in that. Nowhere near as comfortable in that as I am with Camtasia. But there's a lot of cool video edits. Like, I don't know what kind of videos you've seen out there, but there's a lot of YouTube videos that are very heavily edited, okay? Lots of fast edits. You've got memes popping up. You've got text flying in and out. You've got crazy effects like masking things and text behind people and there's all kinds of different cool things you can do. Most of those things take a long time to learn. And take a long time, even once you know how to do it, take a long time to put together. So if you want to create, if you're just getting into video editing, I wouldn't necessarily worry about all of that stuff. Just basic edits, look at my video. I mean, I've got a couple of things in there that make it look a little better and whatnot, but generally speaking, if you just look at the body part of my videos, and forget the fact that I've removed the background of myself and put myself in the bottom corner. That looks, I mean, it's really not that hard to do, but you don't even have to do that. Like, if you just make a video of yourself, the main editing things you're going to want to learn are how to make cuts, like how to cut out bad sections or mistakes. That's definitely one thing you want to do, because when I first started, I tried to be perfect every time. Like, how am I going to remember what to say? I'm going to have to write a script. I'm going to have to read it. How do I read a script without you guys seeing my eyes going back and forth reading something? Like, there's a lot to it. It's hard. And what I've learned is it's way better to just record something. Let's say you're trying to make a 10-minute video. Maybe you're recording for 30 minutes, and then you just cut it down, right? Cut it. Like, if you make a mistake, don't stop recording. Just keep the recording going. You're capturing everything, the good stuff, the bad, the mistakes. Maybe you need to stop, take a drink of water. You can cut that out. Just let the recording go. Because every time, if you stop recording of the camera, stop recording of the audio and the screen recording, and then you got to start it all back up again. And then you got to try to figure out how to sync all those together again and marry it up with the first. It's so much easier if you can just get one long recording, including all your mistakes. The audio includes all your mistakes. The screenshot, the video, everything includes all your mistakes. So you only have 3 files. You sync them all up, right? You can even group them together then in Camtasia. Right-click, highlight them all, right-click, group. Then just go through and cut out the mistakes. So, and there are shortcuts that help with that. So that's the main edit you got to do. Learn how how to cut stuff out like that, and then you can start getting fancier. You can put an intro at the beginning. You can play around with some animations, intro, ending, and then you got a video, and then what you do is just try to make each video thereafter just a little bit better. Like every time you make another video, say, oh, okay, or maybe make a few in a row the same way, and then start introducing something new every once in a while. And that's how you learn how to video edit. So start with the easy stuff, and then don't worry about the complex stuff. And then in time, if you want to get really complicated, then you just learn stuff. And so again, I think Camtasia is wonderful for people learning because everything is so easy. The biggest thing that I've found that is so easy in Camtasia and so hard in all the other ones is animating stuff. Animating images onto the screen, like pop-up text, fly-in text, all that stuff. And you may have noticed that a lot of my videos show you how to animate things. I get into animating a lot in Camtasia. And that's because it's so hard to do in other programs. And I just find it so intuitive in Camtasia. I find it so easy just to drop that animation arrow down and start making changes. And you don't have to get into keyframes and make things really complicated. I mean, if you can do more complicated animations, it's typically a lot harder to do them, even if the software can do it, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling a bit. I don't know if I answered your question. Can you just use Camtasia for a complete solution versus having all the other programs? So yes, Camtasia will record your screen. And in fact, the other programs won't record your screen. So if you're using DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro or Final Cut, you're going to have to find a screen recorder as well if you want to include that in there. You can use OBS, but that in itself can be kind of complicated. It's free software. But generally with free software, it may not be supported very well, and maybe hiccups here and there. So anyways, Camtasia is the only one I know of that does. I mean, Camtasia started off as a screen recorder and has become a video editor as well over time. So it's an all-in-one package, and I think it's the easiest one to learn. So you can do your audio, your screen recording, your camera recording, all in Camtasia. You can export it and then upload it to YouTube, all with Camtasia. It's only if you want to, and if you want to process your audio like I do in Audition, and Audition is another program that you'd have to pay for. There are free programs you can use to process your audio. There's look up I want to say Audiate, but that's TechSmith's. Audacity. Audacity is a very popular. It's very popular with voiceover artists, I believe, and it's free. It's free software, and it's very popular. So I've just never really used it. I've known Audition for so long. I see Steve, the UK, just said Audacity is great. Yeah, so there you go. And I've heard a lot of people love it, and it's free. So Camtasia with something like Audacity together. I wouldn't say. Sorry. There's one more thing that I think is super. For my workflow, it's super important. I wouldn't say it's 100% necessary, but anyways, it's Canva, canva.com. It's software. It's basically like Photoshop, but an online version, and it doesn't do everything that Photoshop can do. I also found Photoshop very hard to learn, so I kind of stopped it. But Canva is something you do have to pay monthly. Well, sorry, they do have a free version, right? But if you want to do things like removing background and what else? Like exporting transparent images that doesn't have like a solid background color behind. If you want to do things like that, then you have to pay for the free version, or sorry, pay for the pro version, paid. And I don't know what it is, $10 or $12 a month, something like that. But I use Canva all the time. I use Canva to make all my thumbnails. I use Canva to make my overlays. So this overlay that you see on the screen here, right here, I made that in Canva. I'll show you really quick. Go back to this screen here. That's Canva. And there's the overlay I made. This gray, it's not gray as when I bring it in because it's actually transparent. It's black at 50%. If I highlight it here and hit this transparency, see it's at 50%. It's black, but I turn the opacity down, opacity or transparency, 50%. So that means, and this is all just transparent. It's not white, it's transparent when I export it. And then what you end up with is this right here. So this is the black that's half opaque, right? And then I'm able to show through all through here that on the transparent part. So I use Canva for my overlays as well as all my thumbnails. Show you that too. Go back to this here and I'll drag this down. So there are my thumbnails. This is another page of Canva. So like there's the video from yesterday, last Friday. I've got all my thumbnails in here and I keep them all in the same file so that I can kind of copy and paste from one to the other. Like a lot of the text is the same style, so I just copy and paste instead of starting over every time. Yeah, so I still have to make the thumbnail for tomorrow's video. I haven't done that yet. Yeah, so anyways, I think I've kind of beaten that horse to death, so to speak. Yeah, you can do everything in Camtasia, but there are, like, to me, Canva is, I need Canva for what I do. But if you're good at making thumbnails in another free software, for instance, then that's fine too. And in fact, you know, there was a time where I made a thumbnail in Camtasia. Okay, you can build like the first couple seconds of your video, build your thumbnail there, and take a screenshot of it. Excuse me, export that, and you can use that as a thumbnail, right? You could do that too. Then you wouldn't need Canva. So, anyways, I hope that helps, Jason. Let's see, Sybil, so fancy. Thanks for showing your setup. I may end up re-recording the audio. Thank you for your help. No problem. Can't tell you how many times I've re-recorded my audio. Do that a lot, all the time. Never get it right the first time. Thanks, Steve. I will look at it later. Oh, how to export the audio. Yes. Thank you, Steve. That's great. DLR. Hello, DLR. Welcome to the live stream. Hi, Rob. Greetings from Tarragona, Spain. Very good. Greetings, Tarragona, Spain. You're right across the Atlantic Ocean from where I am. Can't see you, though. I've never been to Spain. Maybe someday. Steve says, Sybil, it's on the export menu, export audio only. Perfect. Thanks, Steve. Been a thorn in my side. When you click Save Audio Only, you can select from file type as WAV, MP3, or M4A. I always work with WAV files. I don't know much about M4A. I'm not an audio expert or anything. MP3 are much smaller than WAV files, but I believe that's also because they don't contain as much information. WAV files can be manipulated a little bit better, a little more. So like I think of MP3 as a compressed version of WAV. I don't know how accurate that really is, but that's the way I think of it. and when you're talking about audio files, you're talking a lot smaller scale than video files. So 4K video files eat up a lot of space. Digital Learn Academy. The shots of air are called plosions in the industry. Yeah, that's right, plosions. There was another word that someone used, I thought, plosions or plosives. I guess that's the same, just another way of saying the same thing, I suppose. I've heard it called that before too. Yeah, so that's when you or t like that. That's a shot of air, and if it hits the microphone without it being filtered at all, that can give a not so great sounding noise that you end up capturing. And they're very hard. If you captured that, very hard, if not impossible, to remove that in audio editing, no matter how good your audio editing software is, like Audition or Audacity, whatever. They are hard to remove. Incidentally, so something else I wanted to mention about voiceovers. Um, when you're, I spent a lot of time trying to get my gain and everything set up, the levels, the audio levels set up properly, and it was kind of a thorn in my side for the longest time. You never know if I'm setting it correctly or whatnot. So the bottom line is, it's way better to have your gain set too low, okay, and you're recording at a low level. That's way better than recording with your gain too high, okay? With your gain too high, that's when clipping can happen, or peaking, if you will. So if that's when things get distorted, okay? You can't correct that. Once you've recorded that, you've captured that. If you try to lower the levels, you're just going to make that distorted sound lower in volume. It's still going to be distorted, right? Whereas if you capture it without any clipping or peaking, the volume's too low, and you get it in, you start editing, it's like, oh, my volume's too low. You can boost your level in the software. And when I say software, whether you're using Audacity or Audition, or if you're not using that, even in Camtasia, you can raise your gain, right? That's raising the volume up to where you want it. Okay, so keep that in mind. So it's better to be too low and then correct it up in editing than it is to be too high, because you can't correct it down if you've clipped. Okay, I just wanted to mention that. That's I don't know why that popped into my head, but yes, Jason Lowe. You can okay, yeah. That you were answering Jason's question. Can you use Camtasia for everything? I gave a 10-minute answer and you gave a 1-word answer. I think I could have saved a lot of time if I just saw your answer there before I started talking. All right, where are we now? Jason Lowe, you can scale up based on your needs. If you see it's not working for you, then you look for other solutions. Absolutely. I've been using Camtasia for so long, I can't remember. Okay, where are we? Paul. Hi, Paul from the UK. Hi, Paul. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in. Hope you're getting some valuable information from this. Digital Learn Academy says, I use Camtasia and Snagit for my workflow. It works like a charm. That's right too. That's so Snagit is another piece of software from TechSmith, the makers of Camtasia, and you can capture your screen. I used to use Snagit years ago, and you can capture your screen. You can even record some videos quickly and add annotations and arrows and things like that. I haven't used it in quite some time, and I believe, and I think somebody told me this last week. It might have been you, that you can actually create thumbnails in Snagit as well. Yeah, there you go. And then you could probably, I'm sure you can get a like a combination license or some kind of a discount if you get both that and Camtasia from TechSmith at the same time. I just haven't looked into that myself. And Audiate as well. Like, you could probably bundle all that together. Very good. So yeah, +1 for Snagit. Question from Jules. Can you show us how quick you can make your second today's topic point pop up? Can you show us how quick you can make your second today's topic point pop up? Second, latest videos. You mean how I made that just appear on the screen? Is that what you mean? How I do that? So if that's your question, I've mapped that overlay. I use Ecamm Live as my streaming software, and so that overlay, I've added it to this scene, and then I've mapped it to my Stream Deck. Okay, the Stream Deck being this little guy down here. See that? That's the Stream Deck, and I can just press this button here, Oh, it's not going to work unless I'm on. So that's the button there. I press that. I can toggle the overlay on and off. That's how I do that. So toggle it on and off by pressing that button. Does that answer your question? Oh, what did I do? I hope so. If you're your second today's topic point pop up. Yeah. So that's how I make a pop up. I've got it. That's done through Ecamm Live. But I had to create the graphic in Canva or any digital software. I used Canva. Maybe, I don't know, can you do that in Snagit? Can you save images with transparent backgrounds in Snagit? I don't know. Don't know the answer to that. Maybe Digital Learn Academy, if you know, I'd be interested to know if you can do that. Steve says Audacity is great, plosives, and ha ha ha. Very good. I'm caught up. Wow, that only took me 56 minutes to go through the chat. I hope you don't mind. Like, this is generally the way the live chat goes. I'll go through, I'll go through the chat. We'll exchange Q&As, whatnot, before I actually get into what I'm going to talk about for the day. But in doing so, we end up talking about what we're going to talk about during the day anyways. So I hope you guys are okay with this format. I generally go not always 2 hours, but sometimes over 2 hours. But we're an hour into it now, so I can stay for another hour or so if you guys want me to. I'll just keep going. So let's just quickly gone through the Q&A. Let's just quickly. So the latest videos. So corner pinning. So that's one. Since I went live with you guys last Tuesday, I released 3 videos. So the next day was Wednesday, and I came out with the corner pinning video, and that's showing you how to, like, another way to create 3D screens, right? That was a fun video, and it did well. You guys seem to enjoy that one. I had done an animations video 2 months ago about how to create 3D screens and animate them, but I didn't use corner pinning at the time. In fact, I had never used corner pinning at that time. I just used the X, Y, and Z rotational axes, and I manipulated them there in the properties window to get the 3D effect. Well, corner pinning makes it so much easier. And I believe that was a new thing introduced in Camtasia 2023, so a year ago. But a year ago, I had a lot of things going on. We were moving and all this stuff, and I wasn't making videos at the time. So even though I upgraded to Camtasia 2023, I'm on the maintenance plan, so I get all the updates. I never got into corner pinning until last week. I learned it, made a video about it, and I love it. It's great. So yeah, check that out if you're interested in that, and how to animate corner pinning using animations with the corner pinning together is pretty cool. I got to, Steve says I need to feed the dog. I am listening. Be back at the PC soon. Cool. Go feed your dog. My cat's asleep over on the chair, so she's not going to bother me. Then on Friday, came out with another video, Freeze Region. And that is super cool because well, anyway, yeah, check that video out. It's not as long. But if you're making a screen recording and something pops up, like a pop-up window, maybe you have messages pop up, or you get a notification that you got an email, it pops up on your screen that you're recording, and it's like, oh crap, I didn't want to capture that. Freeze region is a great way to remove it. There's also some other cool things you can do with freeze region, but that's the number one thing I think it was put intended for. You can basically back your video up, put the playhead back to just before this annoying pop-up occurred, freeze it right there, and just kind of outline that specific area you want to freeze, and then during the pop-up, you can basically have nothing change on that part of the video. It's probably not making a lot of sense just explaining it. A lot easier to show you, but Yeah, that I went through that in the video that I released on Friday. It's really cool. And then yesterday, the holograms and clones trailer video, which was super fun, a lot different than most of the videos that I've made. Number one, because it was so damn long. It was 54 minutes long. It was almost like an hour and 40 minutes of recording, but I got it down to 55 minutes. But it's pretty cool. Shows how to make a hologram, how to do cloning, which I had done in a previous video. But if you've got a spare hour, check that one out. It's fun. And then we'll get to upcoming videos. Sybil says the corner pinning is awesome. Yes, it is. I totally agree. And I'm embarrassed I didn't know about it sooner. Paul says, Rob, can you make a reflection in Camtasia of a subject or object? Yes, you can. Probably a couple different ways. The easiest way would be, I think there's a tool. Let me just share my screen real quick. If I click to open a new project, and let's just grab one of these footage clips that's here. Oh no, oh yeah, there we go. Okay. So here we have some footage. Let's shrink it down. Okay, so this is a video, but you can probably do this. Well, you can do this with any video or image. Now I think it's over here in visual effects. There's reflection down here, right there. Reflection. Click and grab the reflection. There you go. Just drop it on, and there's the reflection. See that? And now there's some things you can do. If you look over here in the properties, you can modify. Here, let me make this a little bit bigger for you, so you can see what I'm doing. You can change the distance, so you can have it reflecting a little further away. You can change the opacity of the reflection. Okay, and you can ease in and out. So what the easing is, let's expand it down here. Here is the actual effect that we added. And this is something I didn't know about either until a couple weeks ago. With effects that you drop onto clips like this, did you know that you don't have to have them occurring the entire time of that clip? What I mean is, you can drag the ends in of the effects like this. See that? Now the reflection only occurs here and not here. Not here, only here. The easing is basically how long it takes to ease into the effect. Okay, right now they're both set at 1 second. So the reflection will fade on in 1 second. Okay, and it'll fade away in over here. It'll also fade away in 1 second. Okay, that's how you do reflections. And you can get into, well, here's corner pinning, right? You can use corner pinning to make it 3D like this. Okay, maybe let's take corner pinning off and change the scale. Let's make the scale smaller. Let's move it up here. Change the distance again. Okay, so that's an example right there of a reflection of a video. Cool? Makes sense? I've never really used that, but I've seen it in there. I've seen it in the visual effects. But yeah, that's. I mean, I think that would be a great way to have a presentation. You could have, so there's a video there, but you could have a presentation, like a PowerPoint or a keynote slides there, and then yourself perhaps could be over to the left in the black area here, or you could have some text there, right, as you're presenting. So yeah, cool. That's how you do that. Let's see. Jason Lowe says, perfect. Thank you for the info. I do look forward to the intro into the Camtasia video. Oh, the intro to Camtasia video. Yes, I've got to do that because I know I get some beginner Camtasia users here in the watching my videos, and most of my videos to this point have been on the more complicated side. So teaching how to do fairly complex things, and quite often, and I know this, a lot of the things I show you how to do in Camtasia, you don't necessarily even have to know how to do. Like it's, I'm showing you how to do things that I haven't even used. Okay, but my point of most of my videos is to show you what you can do. Right? If you just kind of think about what you want to achieve first, there's probably a tool in Camtasia that'll help you, or combination of tools that'll help you achieve some pretty cool things if you ever need to. So what I'd like is that in time, my channel becomes like a go-to library of information that you can search to look for how to do things in Camtasia. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. And once I've got all kinds of things like that, how to do complicated things and easy things, I've got to create some videos on getting started with Camtasia, what's the best ways to get set up and all that. I've got to have a mix of both. At that point, once I have all of that, that's when I'm going to the next kind of phase of this, my grand plan, is to create some things for you guys, like things that might help you. And when I say you guys, I'm still learning who is watching my videos, who are watching my videos. Like, what do you do? Like, why are you using Camtasia? I'd love to know. Are you using it for yourself? Are you creating your own YouTube channel and you want to use Camtasia to make videos for yourself? Or are you making presentations? Are you making presentations for your own internal company? Somebody you work for? Are you a freelancer? Are you creating videos for other people or editing videos for other people? Or are you an educator? I think there's a lot of educators who use Camtasia to present things, to create lessons, to create courses, even on anything. Slides, or Camtasia is great for turning slideshow presentations into videos. So think of this, like if somebody's an educator and they present to people, right? Wouldn't it make more sense to, instead of presenting live every time they want to teach somebody something, do that once, and capture it in video, edit it and make it look real nice, and then put it up on the internet, in YouTube or on your website, or on YouTube embedded onto your website. And then, that's how you can make your content available to other people. Now, whether that ends up being free content that you put on a YouTube channel, that's one way to go about things. Or if you want to create a paid course or a paid webinar, like, you can monetize this kind of stuff too. If you want to do a series of videos that teach a complicated thing, like step one out, Camtasia is a great piece of software to make things like that. And then you got to look at, well, how am I going to put it on the internet and all this stuff? But that's something else. But yeah, so I'm going to get into some of that kind of stuff eventually. But right now, I'm in the phase of, let's just deep dive into Camtasia. What can you do with it? And I'm really excited about Camtasia 2024. So that's coming out very soon. And is that what's next? Perfect. Didn't realize that was in there. Yeah, I didn't know it was in there either until one day I found it. I just saw it. I was looking for something else, and then saw that. So I think I already. So I went through. Oh, quickly. So coming up, number 3. We're on number 3 here. How do I do this? Right there. Number 3, upcoming videos. So tomorrow's video is almost complete. I'll have it done within the hour. Well, then it's got to render and process and stuff, but it'll be out on time tomorrow. And that one is, so the video yesterday was creating that movie trailer and the hologram and the clone and all that, a 54-minute video, super long. But it does cut off fairly abruptly, okay? I didn't quite finish everything because it just got too long. But I got 99% in there what I wanted to show. Tomorrow's video just finishes that up. So it's basically taking that video that I made yesterday and making it cinematic. So what I did was, everything's still good here? Yeah. Yep, no, we're good. What I did was I added background music. I added sound effects. I overlapped sound effects. I edited the background music and made it the right length. I added cinematic bars on the top and bottom to make it more of a cinematic shape rather than the aspect ratio like full HD, 16 by 9. So that's that video, and it's not 54 minutes. It's like 25 minutes, I think. Still longer than I wanted, but I think what I'm learning is you guys don't mind the long videos. If you do, let me know. But that's tomorrow, and then after that, I don't know what's going to be Friday yet. I've got 2 more things written down. Triple camera recording and editing. So imagine filming yourself with 3 different angles. Maybe you're doing an interview, right? So maybe you're here and you're talking to somebody else. So a situation like that may require 3 angles. One angle on person number 1, another angle on person number 2, and then maybe a third angle on both, okay? And then you've got your audio, okay? So how would you go about capturing all that, and how would you go about editing that? So that's a video I'm going to make, how to do all that in Camtasia. Cursor path editing is also a video that's very soon, whether it's Friday or Monday, I'm not sure yet. That one shouldn't take me too long to make, but that's something new. I think that was new last year as well, 2023 version of Camtasia. And I haven't done a lot of that, but it's certainly valuable, and I've not done a video on it, so I need to do a video on that. So that is that's what's coming up. So next up is Camtasia 2024. Let me just check the chat here. Pam Power says, even though they are complex sometimes, they are always good tips and ideas within them. Thank you. That's what I'm hoping. So yeah, the 54-minute video yesterday, I think there were 2 or 3 main things I wanted to show, but I ended up showing a whole bunch of things, and there's tips all throughout there. I find it hard to remember everything that I included in videos as I'm doing them. What I try to do as I'm editing them is I write down times for, okay, this should be the start of a new chapter, then this should be the start of a chapter, and so on. And that way I put the chaptering in when I upload the YouTube video. You put that in the description. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly close Audition up here. We didn't need that open. So last week, just before I get into Camtasia 2024, last week's live stream went over 2 hours, and I was showing you editing a fairly long video, and I think the stream cut abruptly at the end, like I was cut off, and I didn't realize it. I think there was the last, I'm going to say, it was only about a minute or so, the last minute or so, I was kicked off, and I don't know why. I think my computer got kind of overloaded. Like, I've got a lot of stuff going on here. I keep looking at my activity monitor to make sure things are good. Things look good, but I do have tomorrow's video project file open in Camtasia, and I'm a little concerned if I bring that down and start showing that to you, because that is a huge file. That is, and I will show you this. If I share my screen again, here, I can close that down. No, we don't need to save that. Delete that. So if I show you, I'm just going to bring this over here. So this will give you an idea. This is my Finder window on a Mac. If you're on a PC, it's your file manager. Okay, so it's my file structure. My projects, current. So what I keep in here are all the most recent videos that I've made. So, well, live stream graphics. So the overlay that I made for today's live stream is in there. live stream trailer 8. The trailer that if you saw the trailer to this live stream this morning, that's that. I made that this morning at 11:18. So just a couple hours before I went live. This one here is the video for tomorrow, music, sound effects, and filters. 30 gigabytes. Okay, that's pretty big. If I go in here, you can see, so there's the project file. It's 5 gigabytes. Table of contents, that's where I build up the chapters. My recordings, I put them all in here. So there's my audio files. I captured the screen with OBS. And then my camera files, again, 4K, right? So this one here, that's a 16 gigabyte file. I didn't need to capture myself in 4K, but I did. That is the body, the main part of the video. Whereas, where are we? This one is the intro. I do the intro and outro together, and I do that first, and sometimes I have to redo it after I do the main video to make sure things line up. But I record the body of the tutorial separately, and that's what this one is. Okay, now in this case, I ran it through a video, what do you call it? There's a program called Handbrake that I use to compress files. So I did convert that into a 1080p 30 file that was much smaller. So that helps. So actually, it may not be so bad. The OBS file, though, is big. I probably could have converted that as well. So that'll just give you an idea how big some of these files can get, some of these projects. Yesterday's 83 gigabytes. Like, holy cow, that's pretty big. That's a lot of there's a lot of stuff in here. I got a thumbnail. My recordings are all in here. Like, look at some of these recordings. They're big. If I sort by size, that from my Sony camera, a 36 gigabyte file. Huge. So I can't leave all this stuff on my Mac. I do have a 2 terabyte drive in the Mac, so that's good. I've only got, well, I have 1 terabyte free, so it's only half full. But what I'll do is I will, every once in a while, the older videos, I move them off the computer and I store it on my external storage system. Okay, so yeah. Anyways, I just thought you guys might be interested in how big some of these files can get, and just showing you why it's probably a good idea to have a way to store your files externally. Now, maybe you're not doing 4K video, so your files will be a lot smaller if you're not. But 4K can really, make your file sizes quite a bit bigger. And I don't need to be saving all this stuff. Like this one in here. No, sorry, was it this one in here? No, it was this one here, the one for tomorrow's video in my recordings. So this file, this 16 gigabyte file that I then converted here, it's the same video and it looks the same. So I could probably delete that. I just have, I don't know, I don't like deleting stuff. I save way too much. But if you're tight for space, if I was tight for space, I would just delete that. Don't need it anymore because it's there, and that's the one I brought into Camtasia. Okay, so that'll give you an idea of that. And I do have it open, so let me bring it down here. This is the project for tomorrow's video. Okay, so activity monitor, we're still doing good. So yeah, here are my 3 things. So here, let me just zoom in so you can kind of see what's going on. So I've got my voiceover here on this track. I've got the background music here, got the voiceover here. I've got me, this is the intro. We'll fit that. So we got the intro. Just play that for you, just so here's your sneak peek for tomorrow's video.
In this video, I'll show you how to spice up your videos by adding sound effects, music, and color filters, and I'll do it by finishing up a fictitious movie trailer that I created, also in Camtasia. Let's get into it.
There you go. So there's your preview. That's going to be out tomorrow morning. I'm probably going to put some B-roll on that, like up here. After I do the video, and once I finish editing the main video, I'll take out some interesting looking parts of the video and put them in the intro. You'll still hear my voiceover, but you'll see basically a preview of what's to come. And that's one trick, one way to kind of grab people's attention and perhaps make them want to keep watching. Like, this is what you're going to see if you keep watching. So that's one retention trick, if you will. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. There's your sneak peek. Len Davis, welcome, Len. Thank you for stopping in. I hope you're getting some valuable information from the live stream. Len says, once I feel comfortable with Camtasia, I intend to use it to create YouTube videos for my own new YouTube channel. I will be doing talking head videos explaining slides on biblical topics. Perfect. Yeah, so Camtasia would be perfect for that. So slides plus you on the screen, and whatever your content is, like, Camtasia is perfect for that. So good luck with it, and feel free to stop in anytime. I'm here every Tuesday. If you run into troubles or have questions, you can always ask them live here, or drop a comment at the bottom of any of my videos if you want me to expand on anything, if you have any other questions about it. I think if you're just starting out with video editing, I strongly recommend Camtasia. I find it super easy to learn and to get good at relatively quickly. So good luck with that. And Jason Lowe says, plan used for Camtasia. I am creating my own YouTube channel, training elderly on technology, how-tos, and family videos. That's awesome. That's great. So another check for creating your own YouTube channel. That's great. And training elderly on technology, that is a huge need. A great niche. Like, they talk about, you have to niche down. You need to identify your typical viewer. Like, who are you making videos for? And try not to waver from that too much. Which is why I want to know what you guys are using Camtasia for, and that would kind of dictate which direction I go and how I present my videos. But in your case, for training elderly on technology, I mean, I just got not just me, but a family group message from my mom this morning about Facebook Messenger, and she got something popped up that says you need to either create a 6-digit PIN, or do you use iCloud, or trying to get into Messenger, right? So she's not very technologically savvy, but she loves using Facebook, and she's good with that. But every once in a while, something will pop up, and I'm getting an error, and I don't know what to do. And so I'm always trying to, and not just me. Quite often, if there's a lot of times I don't know the answer to stuff like that, and thankfully my son he went to computer science and got a computer science degree, so he knows a lot more about a lot of this technology stuff than I do. So a lot of times he can help them, but there's definitely a need for training the elderly on technology, and there probably always will be. Right? Well, technology is moving so fast. So many new things coming out all the time. New platforms, new apps, and all this stuff. And I don't think the elderly love change. Like, once they get used to knowing how to do something, these days it's going to change, and now you're going to have to learn something new. So, no, that's a great niche to get into. Good luck with that. Exactly. Yes, exactly. Very good. Okay, so Camtasia 2024. This will be quick. I've already said this before earlier, but it's coming out June 4th. June 4th. So 3 weeks from today, it's going to be released. And so what my plan is, I'm doing all these videos. I'm doing 3 a week, at least until it comes out, and probably beyond that. Trying to get caught up on all the things you can do in Camtasia. And then when 2024 comes out on the Tuesday, I'm going to go live that day and going to go through it. So I'm going to go through all of the new things in Camtasia 2024. I'm going to show you how to do them, share my screen so you get to see everything that you can do with it. So yeah, if you're interested in that, if you're wondering whether or not you should upgrade or not, I'm going to have about a week and a half with Camtasia 2024 before it gets released. Thank you very much, TechSmith. But that will allow me to play around with it and try to get good at or learn how to use these new tools. Yeah, so for about a week and a half. So, but that means that, so is that next week? Thursday, late May. That means the week before, the live stream, the week before it's released, I'm already going to know about it, but I'm not going to be allowed to talk to you about it. Okay, so sworn to secrecy. I can't release the details of the new version. Part of the deal. So I hope you're all right with that. But I'm going to probably be excited. I'll try to hide my excitement. But yeah. So for 3 weeks from today, on June 4th, I'll update like all this stuff here. I'll have it all listed, what we're going to go through. If you want an idea of what it's going to be like, the live stream that I do that day, go back to my channel and check out, I think it was June of 2022, I did a live stream and for Camtasia 2022, okay? I went live that day that it was released, and so I feel like I've learned a few things about doing these live streams since then. So I wouldn't say it's definitely going to be modeled after that, but you'll get the idea. You'll see the list of all the things. I think I had 12 or 13 different points down the side of the screen that I was going to talk about, and then went through it. And that was a 2.5 hour live stream, I believe. And that was the last live stream I did for for like a year and a half, because again, life got in the way. But anyways, yeah, check that out if you want an idea to what to expect 3 weeks from today when 2024 comes out. That's the plan. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. Today, so I've got now written down what to talk about today. We are an hour and a half into this, so I hope that's okay. I can still go through some of these things. Actually, the voiceover recording, let's just finish that one up right now, because I've already talked a bit about that, but I made a few notes because I've talked about voice recording quite a bit already, and I've mentioned the fact that I don't record directly into Camtasia. I know you can. It's just not what I do. And back when I started doing it, when I started doing voiceovers, I don't even know if you could record your voice in Camtasia back then. Maybe you could, I'm not sure. But the reality is, when I first started doing voiceovers, it wasn't necessarily for my voice in video tutorials. I did just voiceovers, so just audio files. So I don't need Camtasia for that. I used Adobe Audition, or you could use Audacity just to record an audio file. And then I would send that voiceover to my client through Fiverr or whatever. Yeah, so, but when you're recording your voice, whether it's a voiceover like that or it's a voiceover for a video tutorial that you're making, I just wrote down a few things that you need to keep in mind to make it as good as possible, the quality. The number one thing, so we can talk about mics, we can talk about how to hook it to your computer, we can talk about how to record it, what software to use. But the number one thing to get good audio from your voice is your room, the room that you record in. My room here isn't actually ideal as a voiceover booth, so to speak. It's good enough for what I do. So if your room isn't ideal, and when I say not ideal, I mean like I'm not surrounded with foam and heavy insulation and blankets and things like that to try to dampen echo or reverb, and basically to keep the sound from bouncing around, right? What you want to try to avoid in your room is flat surfaces, like a big monitor I have here. So that's not necessarily a good thing, because my voice, when it leaves my mouth, is going into the microphone, but part of the sound is also going to my monitor, hitting that flat surface, bouncing back, perhaps bouncing back into the microphone, okay? Sound doesn't travel near as fast as light. I'm getting super technical here, but bear with me. Sound is slow compared to light. Light meaning what you see. Because sound is slower, the time it takes the sound to go from my mouth to the microphone, that distance is shorter than the time it takes the sound to go from my mouth to the monitor, ricochet back to the microphone. Okay, that takes longer. Also, some of my voice is bouncing off the hard flat wall over there, coming back into the mic a little later. Okay, because you got all these versions of your sound coming back to the microphone at different times, you get echo. Okay, that, or reverb is what it's also called. That's what you need to try to avoid. Okay, one way to avoid that is to bring the microphone nice and close to your mouth and talk lower. Okay, that helps. I'm not doing that in a live stream, so you're probably getting a little bit of echo, more echo than you would otherwise want in a good clean voiceover recording. Okay. So that's one way to fix it. Another way to fix it is get rid of the flat surfaces in your room. So don't have big flat monitors, or if you do, like maybe angle it away. Don't have big flat walls. Maybe set up hang blankets on the walls, or curtains, right? You see these foam sound pads. That's fine for basically absorbing the sound so that it doesn't bounce back. So that's why that helps. You know what the best place, if you're just doing a voiceover and you're not recording your face, you don't need to worry about what the room looks like. The best place in the world, if you don't have a professional studio, to record your voice is a walk-in closet that's full of hanging clothes. Okay, walk into the closet, close the door. It's probably going to get super hot, so you're not going to want to spend hours in there. Yeah, if you're surrounded by a whole bunch of loose clothes that are thick and can absorb all this sound, that's the perfect place. So that's why you could go in there with a voice recorder, like your phone. Like there's a voice recorder in most mobile phones where you can go in and just record through that. Or bring a microphone in that's hooked up to your computer. Your computer maybe is outside the closet. That can get a little cumbersome if you don't have a laptop, for example, moving things around. But yeah, so a lot of voiceover artists will have a little portable recorder, and they'll take that into a voice booth or closet with them and have their mic plugged into that, and that's how they'll get the recording for a voiceover. So that's the best place. But short of that, if you don't have that, try to hang some stuff, put lots of furniture in your room if you can. And then another thing is the microphone itself. If your microphone can be, I have a shotgun microphone, okay? And the reason that is, a shotgun microphone like this, right? It's very good at picking up voice only from this direction. What's my phone? It's trying, this has got some kind of automatic zoom on it or something. So it will not pick up sound coming from the sides. Not very well anyways. Only one direction. Okay? And because of that, I can just leave that like that. Because it only picks it up this direction, right? And not here and not behind. It won't pick up very much of the echo in the room. Okay? It's only going to pick up what's here, and that's my voice. So that's another way to get better sound. Okay, use a shotgun mic. It's not the best mic in the world, but it's great for me. And I use it for voiceovers as well. In this room, I do my voiceovers in this room. So yeah, and what else do I got? So yeah, I've already talked about the peaking, no peaking and no clipping. So your gain, if you're not sure where to put it, turn it down, and then record it, and then look at your levels and whatnot. And you don't want to be peaking. Don't stop if you make a mistake. Okay, if you're recording your voice, don't stop if you make a mistake. Record the mistake. and then cut it out at the end. Okay, like in editing, and you can cut out your audio and your video together after you've synced everything up. That's a big time saver. I've got written down, and this may go without saying, but if you have to read a long sentence, do a big inhale before you read a long sentence, because you're going to run out of air before you finish the sentence. I do anyways. I mean, maybe everybody's different, I suppose, but you can always, like, if I'm going to read something long, I'll go, and now I can read a long sentence. Well, that inhale and that breath in, I'm going to cut that out in editing, okay? So there's that. And then you process it in, and I've talked about processing it in software afterwards. So those are my tips on getting good voiceover, okay? That's what I wanted to talk about there. Any questions about any of that? Nora says, best software for educational videos. I agree. Best software for lots of different types of videos, I think. But educational for sure, where you can share your screen. Let me see. Curved text. If there's no other questions, let me move on to curved text. Let me just take a quick drink here. Where are we at? 3:36. 2:36 Eastern. How's everyone doing? We doing good for time? Everyone good? I see there's still 7 of you in here watching. That's great. Activity monitor looks good. I don't think I'm going to get kicked off today like I was last week. So let's get into curved text. Square Egg, welcome back. Thanks for stopping in today. Good, all good. So I had a question this week about curved text, and they sent me an image about how to achieve this in Camtasia. And basically it was text that kind of wrapped around in a circle. As far as I'm aware, now you can prove me wrong, but as far as I'm aware, that is not something you can do in Camtasia alone. But my suggestion would be to use both. Sorry, I'm thinking of one thing and talking. Let me just get myself situated here. I'm going to open a new project in Camtasia where I'm going to demonstrate this. Okay, and I am also going to open a project in Canva. Okay, so let me bring this down as well. Sorry, just bear with me. I am just getting set up here. Okay, why don't I share my screen so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I have 2 windows here. I've got them staggered. I've got Canva here. Just make that a little bit bigger. And I've got a brand new project here, okay, in Camtasia. So again, so we want a circular text. So let's say this is, what do we have here for a project? Project settings, 1920 by 1080. Let's just make this 30 frames. Apply. We'll zoom in. There it is. All right, fit and zoom. There we go. That's what I like to do. So since you can't do the curved text thing in Camtasia, I go to Canva. So this may be different in other, if you use another software to do your image editing, like Photoshop, or maybe Snagit. If you can do this in Snagit, I don't know. But I know you can do it in Canva. So let me create a new project. So this will give you a little introduction to Canva if you're not used to it. So I'll click Create a Design. I'm just going to go with a custom size. Let's go with a 1920 by 1080. There's a bunch of different ways you can get to that, but there we go. Here's a new project. Now let's say we wanted to, let's put a circle here, just like this. Make it a little bit bigger. Bigger again. Okay. Text. Let's go find some text. You guys can see what I'm doing here, right? Yep. Got some text here. Click on heading. And here we can put some text. So let's, what do I want to say here? Your text here. Okay, let's just do that. All right, and let's actually change the color of this. Let's make it, I don't know, like a yellow color. All right. Now let's say, now to curve this is super easy, super easy. So to curve that, what you do is click on Effects up here with the text highlighted. So highlight the text, go up to Effects, and under Shape, down here in the lower left, see Curve. So I'm going to click Curve, and there you go, it's curved. Okay, and you can resize it like that. And when you're resizing it, you can see the full circle. Okay, if you want to modify that circle, what you have to do is go back to the left here, scroll down a bit more where it says curve here. You can click and drag this to change the amount of curve. Looks like that's as small of a circle you can go, but you can go way out there. Okay, so let's make it a little bit bigger like that. Let's double click in here. Let's give ourselves some more room actually. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I'm going to Control Z, back up. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. There, take the curve out. Control Z is awesome. It's used in most programs. And when I say control, that's PC talk. It's Command Z on a Mac. But I've mapped my Mac so that control is command and vice versa because I was a PC user forever. But anyways, yeah, just the same in Camtasia. Control Z will undo what you've done, as it will in most programs, including Canva. Okay, so that's good to know. I'm going to make this longer. So what I'm trying to do is get your text here. I want that to repeat itself all the way around this circle. Okay, so let's double click this and make this longer. Okay, so let's highlight this, Control or Command C to copy. Let's go here. Let's give it two spaces, puts a period there. Space, again. I don't know why it's adding 1, 2, 3. One, two, three, and maybe one more. Copy, paste. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's make this a little smaller. I want to get this so that you can see the whole thing right there. Okay. Now, with it long like this, now let's try to curve it. So we'll go back to the effects, add the curve, and change the curvature like that. So it'd be pretty difficult to add the right amount of text to go all the way around. We could probably add it one more time. Let's add it one more time. Copy, paste. Okay, and let's add the curve. There we go. Let's close this so that I have around the same amount of space all the way around it. Now, even though it's too small, we can modify that like this. Okay. Let's even keep it inside the circle. All right. So that's how I would create curved text in a circle, okay, all the way around. Now I want to bring this into Camtasia, okay? So, whoops. If you have the free version of Canva, then when you export this, you're going to get all this white background as well, which you could use the remove color effect in Camtasia to get rid of, okay? But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to export this with transparent background, okay? And in fact, I've decided I don't want the blue circle. I'm going to actually add that in Camtasia. It's pretty easy to add a circle in Camtasia. Okay, so I'll delete that. So I just have text. Okay, just this yellow text. And I'm going to go, so your text here is what the file is called. It saves automatically. It's an online app, right? It's not a program that I've downloaded. You do this online in your browser. Okay, so I'll go up here to share. I'm going to click download. And I am going to select transparent background. So this white will go away. It'll be nothing, right? It'll be transparent. And then the file type, I always like to leave PNG selected. And then I'll just click download. And the file downloads. There it is, your text here.png. Now, let's go over to Camtasia. And we're finished with Canva, so I'll just double click this to hide that. And let me go to my downloads folder, find the file, and we'll bring it into Camtasia here. Your text here, drop it right there. Okay, and now let's bring it into Camtasia. There we go. There it is, your text here. So as I said before, if you wanted to add a circle and you want this to kind of go around the circle, let's do that here in Camtasia. We'll go into annotations, shapes. Let's drag our circle. We can drag it down here. Let's put it underneath. Let's change the circle to a different color. Well, actually, let's change the background of our video. Oh no, that's kind of gross. Let's just go white. And this circle, let's make the circle there we go. Circle's highlighted. Let's change that to a blue. Okay, and let's put it back underneath. Let's zoom in. Let's enlarge the circle. You can click and drag. So if I'm not holding anything down, I think I've shown you this before, but I'll tell you again. To make this circle a different size, if I want to make sure it stays circle, you hold shift down. Okay? Keeps a perfect circle. If I want it to keep the perfect circle, but also, how do I say? Leave the center in the center, then you press shift and control. And then that's how it enlarges. See that? So just two quick keyboard shortcuts for you. Okay, so let's do it like that. All right, so my text here inside the circle. Now, the reason I like to separate the text from the circle and all that stuff, and I didn't want to build all of this in Canva, is because I love to animate stuff, right? I think presentations and everything look a whole lot better if you can animate them. So I may bring this circle on the screen at a different time as the text. So what can we do here? Let's actually have the circle appear first, and the way we can do that, we can have it, I don't know, bounce in from the bottom. Let's go to behaviors, and let's click on sliding and drop a sliding behavior down to it. The in, let's have it sliding. Let's just see what that looks like anyways. Just slides in like that. I mean, that's fine. It's like that. Okay. And then the during animation, it fades. Okay, so that means it just kind of glows like that. I don't want that. Let's just leave that at none. And then the ending, it slides away the other side. Okay, that's good. So that's a quick little animation. Make it look a little bit better if you go to Visual Effects, throw a drop shadow on it. I think that makes it look better. Offset that a bit. A little blurry. Okay. There you go. So there's the circle coming in, and then the text. Let's have it scale up. Let me think now. So I haven't done this before. I'm picturing the picture that was sent to me, and I'm thinking, oh, what's the best way to do this? Maybe it kind of drops down. I think we can do it with behaviors. There's two things. I'm going to do a behavior and an animation here. Okay, so let's go with behaviors. Let's use the scale behavior. Well, that's kind of cool. So the in, it's grow, the style is grow, and the movement is a spring. During is none, that's good. And the out is shrink. Okay, let's make this longer. Let's make this longer. So once that goes in here, now we can have it animate on like that, and then it's there, and then it goes away, and then it goes away. Perfect. Okay, so there's that. Two different animations. Let's add another animation to this. And what I would do with this one, let's give it some rotation. Okay? With that, I'm going to go to animations, bring a custom animation. Yes, custom animation down. And now with this one, the only thing I'm going to animate is the rotation. So let's click up here to the properties. And under rotation, I'm pretty sure it's the Z-axis we want to move. See that? Let's go all the way around the circle once. That's 360 degrees. Okay? Now that's going to happen awful fast with this being short like that. Okay, probably too fast. Oh, maybe not. Well, let's stretch this out and see what it looks like. Okay, it's going backwards. I don't like that. So let's go to the end of the animation. And instead of 360 degrees, let's go minus 360. Should go the other way. See that? Now the rotation started slow, then sped up, and now it's slowing down. If you want that to be a constant rate of speed, you right-click the animation arrow, go to animation easing, and turn that to none. Okay? And you end up with this. How's that? That cool? And then at the end, it will finish up like this. Okay? All kinds of... Oh, just start it over again. So that's a quick and dirty little animation, but we had to go outside of Camtasia to get that curved text effect because as far as I know, you can't do that in Camtasia. But that's why an image editing software goes very well with Camtasia. The two of them coupled together, I think, is a winning combination. Now, if you can do that in Snagit, I don't know if you can or not, but Snagit is an image editor as well, and a video editor. Scaled down version of Camtasia is the way I look at it, but I think it started as a screen capture tool, image or recording. But anyways, if you can do that with Snagit, great. I don't know if you can though, but I know you can with Canva, and that's how I would do that. So Pam, it was you that asked how to do this. I hope that helps. And you're able to do something cool with that, or maybe in your own way or whatever you want it to do. So hopefully that helps. And that was, where are we? Today, curved text, just talked about that. Voiceover recording, already talked about that. Watch me edit tomorrow's video. I think we're out of time. We're not going to be able to do that. But I am going to have to edit tomorrow's video, and I'm going to have to do that soon. I've got probably about an hour left, and then it'll be done. So tomorrow, expect that video. It's going to be a continuation of yesterday's video. So yesterday's hour-long video, again, I apologize if you don't want to watch all of that, but I think it's pretty cool how to make a kind of a fake movie trailer. It showed 95% of how to do that. All the complex things like making the hologram hover and animating it and the cloning and all that was handled in yesterday's video. The video that I'm finishing up now is going to just add that secret sauce at the very end to make it look cinematic. Sound effects, background music, mixing all those audios together, grouping them together, adding color filters or LUTs to give it a cinematic look, and the animating bars on the top and the bottom, kind of like you have curtains pulling away in a movie theater kind of thing. Movies generally tend to be, I think it's 2.35 to 1 is the aspect ratio for a lot of cinematic or widescreen videos. Not 16:9, which all of my videos are. So watch for that tomorrow, and then Friday will be another video too. I just don't know what it's going to be yet. Okay, so it will either be the triple camera recording and editing or cursor path editing, I believe. Those are the other two, the next two that are on my list. So any other questions before I wrap this up? How is it today? Is everything good today? Computer's not too stressed out. I think I haven't been kicked out yet, so I think all is good there. So with that said, thank you for... Sybil Morgan said, just popped up here, cursor path would be great. Yes, okay. Understood. That is great. I love the way in Camtasia you can, like when you capture your screen with Camtasia, it captures your cursor separately, right? It doesn't, if you capture your screen with OBS, like I do with most of my video tutorials, because using Camtasia to capture Camtasia, even though you can do it on a Mac, because you can have multiple projects open on a Mac, you can't do it on a PC, I don't think. I just find, like, to keep my head straight, it makes more sense to use OBS to capture. But if you're using OBS or anything else to capture your screen, it captures the cursor baked right in, okay? But with Camtasia, if you use Camtasia to capture your screen recordings, the cursor's captured separately, and then it's kind of layered onto your recording, and you can see the cursor path, and you can change that yourself afterwards, or delete it and add a whole new cursor path that's incredibly smooth all the time and wherever you're going. So that's very helpful, especially if you want to cut out all the wiggly, cursors shaking and all this stuff. So yeah, I'm going to make a video on that. I just have to brush up on that a little bit myself first. So, but if that's not Friday, it'll be Monday. Okay, so those are the two videos coming out next. And again, watch for the live stream June 4th. I'll be here again next Tuesday. Okay, and the Tuesday after that, and the Tuesday after that, the third Tuesday from now, June 4th, Camtasia 2024 will be out that morning. And my live stream that day will be on all the new and wonderful things you can do in Camtasia 2024. So if you're at all interested in that, put that in your calendar, and I hope to see you at that one. So if that's it for today, thanks everybody for stopping in. I hope you learned something. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please give that thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because I got lots more cool things coming. Thanks again. Have a great week. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.